Hello and welcome inside the Sports Sermon. I am Dylan Staggy here today with Jason Gandhi and Dan Majors. And today, as you can tell from the title, we are talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and another NFL team preview. If you want to see more of those, make sure you go subscribe to us on YouTube or iTunes. And then check us out on Twitter too, at the Sports Sermon, sports with a Z. And also comment below, what do you think the Steelers will do this season? So a year ago, the Pittsburgh Steelers finished 13-3 in the regular season, but got knocked off in the playoffs by the Jacksonville Jaguars in a shootout, 45-42. And this offseason, they made a few moves, but not too many. Got rid of Mike Mitchell, who is still a free agent. Had an interesting situation with Le'Veon Bell, which we'll talk about in just a little bit, and are also going to miss Ryan Shazier for the entire season because of that horrible injury that he suffered late last year. But my first question to you guys, going back to the Le'Veon Bell situation, what do you guys make of that?
Yeah, so I'm all for the players getting paid. Le'Veon believes he should be getting the running back and wide receiver money because he can do both. And I just don't see any team being able to do that. Someone this morning on a show I was listening to mentioned the Jets, but I think even there they're not reluctantly just going to give it to him. It really comes down to whether or not it's about money or winning. If he truly wants to win, he can still make good cash and stay with Pittsburgh. If he wants the most money possible, he might be stuck in a 5 or 6 win situation come 2019. There was talk today that just came out during one of the other podcasts we were doing that it was a 5-year, $70 million deal, and the fully guaranteed part was his signing bonus that was just over $10 million. He would have made $33 million over the first 2 years and then $45 million over the first 3, guaranteed. So, you look at what he's got from the franchise tag. This is the second year, maybe second or third year he's gotten franchise tagged.
Second.
So, he got 14.1 this year and last year. So, that's 28 that he gets guaranteed compared to the 33. So you look at it one of two ways. Is it, okay, you only lost $5 million, and now you get to go leave? Like, you got the money that you would have got signing a long-term deal, and now you get to go to a different team? Or is it, you lost out on $5 million, and now you're not coming back to your team when you could have been there more financially stable? I don't know. I just think it really is that debate of, to him, is it money or winning? And I think you can get a lot of money in Pittsburgh. Just accept it. He went to Michigan State, so I'm all for him getting paid, though.
Yeah, the franchise tag rules are kind of stupid in my opinion, but like the Bell threatening to sit out, it's kind of outrageous. I mean, if he did sit out, then that could really hurt his team and just the NFL in and of itself. And also, I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but that's just kind of crazy. I mean, then his
there was
team,
no way he'd sit out though because he'd lose his money. He'd lose his money for next year. The other years it would have made sense. This year he has to play to get a contract. You know what I mean? Like this is his last year. But yeah.
But he's just threatening to sit out, which it's like, why, dude?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no way he will.
Right.
Yeah, I think this might end up being better for both parties in the end. I think for the Steelers, their offer was fair to Le'Veon, but if he thinks he can get more in free agency, then, I mean, more power to him. Go out there and get your money. But, I mean, that's still 5 years, $70 million. That's still a lot to pay a running back. So the Steelers might even be better off not having him on the team next year. I mean, they do have a couple of young backs in James Conner, and then they drafted Jalen Samuels this year too.
Really?
Yeah. I thought he was going as a tight end, though.
Is he really?
I doubt he's a running back.
Yeah, I thought he was supposed to be a tight end.
Either fullback or tight end.
I mean, either way, yeah. That was Dan's guy last year in college football. Is why it was funny. But yeah, James Conner, the hometown kid. For sure. Yeah, I mean, he looked good in preseason last year when Le'Veon wasn't there, too.
Yeah. I mean, I would have taken the offer if I'm Le'Veon, just because of, one, his injury history, and two, his off-the-field situation. He's been suspended a couple times, so...
go get paid, though. I mean,
yeah, if he can get it, then sure. Go right ahead. But let's move over to the defensive side of the ball. For the Steelers, I mentioned earlier that Ryan Shazier will be missing this season after his, was it a spine injury last year that knocked him out?
It was brutal. I don't know what it was. I don't know the official diagnosis, but
right.
all of America knows it was bad and sad to see.
Yeah, it's
It was
He's
cool to
not.
see him go to the draft, though. That was
Right.
probably the best part of the draft. I mean, like, yeah, the players are cool, but like that was probably the coolest thing.
Is he going to make a full recovery?
I believe so.
I hope so. I don't know though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not this year. I don't think.
Yeah,
obviously
this year
not
he's
this
already
year.
been ruled
And
out.
then next year, who knows? Yeah, I mean that just sucked. It was really unfortunate.
Yeah, but the Steelers defense is also going to miss Mike Mitchell, losing him this year. Does this defense still have enough pieces to be one of the league's best?
Yeah, I mean they weren't really that great before. They were fine. They were 28th in total defense last year. So from there, they can't really go anywhere but up. They're just going to be what they have been, though. They've been solid enough, but not the strong suit of this team. When the 3 Bs came with Ben, Bell, and Brown, it was an offensive-focused team, and I think that's how it's going to stay. It's just a defense that can stay just enough to stay in it.
They ranked 11th in points allowed last year, and with those losses, I think they will be good enough to keep this team as a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
They were 4th in passing defense last year, and they get everyone back there, so I think they should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, 7th best defense in the league last year. I mean, they still have a lot of pieces on the defensive line. A nasty pass rush with Hayward, Tuitt, Dupree, Watt, and company. They're going to be great. Shout out Bud Dupree.
What you say?
Nothing.
No. All right.
And then Morgan Burnett, I think he'll be a solid replacement for Mike Mitchell in the secondary, so I don't think you have to worry about that too much. And other than that, there's not a lot of changes from the 5th best passing defense in the NFL. I think losing Shazier will be a little bit of a concern, though. They brought in John Bostic to try and replace him, who had a decent year for the Colts last year, but definitely nothing too special like Ryan Shazier can do. Any other thoughts about the defense?
No, I mean, just kind of what we always see from the Steelers. I feel like.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then some other pieces on the offensive side. We know that the 3 Bs, Ben, Le'Veon, and Antonio Brown, will all be great. But besides that, Juju Smith-Schuster had a breakout season last year, and they brought in James Washington in the draft.
Shout out Oklahoma State, Mason Rudolph, James Washington, teaming up.
Yeah.
Maybe in a few years they'll get
Justice Hill from the running back from Oklahoma State. He actually is going to get drafted, so draft Justice Hill as a replacement for Le'Veon and recreate Oklahoma State up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, what do you think about those other offensive pieces besides the 3 Bs?
This should be their role. Don't mess it up. The 3 Bs are more than enough. They have the best running back, the best receiver, and a top 7, top 8 quarterback in the league. Juju is going to be a solid number 2 option, and if Washington can be a good rotational piece, awesome. If not, it's not going to be like oh wow, we really needed James Washington to step up. Like the Steelers are one of the most boring teams. Same with the Patriots, just because they're just always good.
They're so fun to watch.
No, I mean like off-season wise. Like, they're not fun to talk about. Like, they're always good. Sorry, off-season wise. They're just they're boring because they don't change much, and they're always good. Like it just is what it is. Next year's where we're gonna finally see like, oh, this isn't the same Steelers team because Le'Veon will be gone, and then they'll have money to spend. So all that, I think.
Yeah,
next year's
Ben
when we're
could
gonna start to
possibly
see a
retire.
change. Yeah,
Ben could
retires,
retire too.
and Brown's already 30. So like, you're gonna see it starting to change, but like for the last few years and this year, it's just like we know what we're gonna see: 11-5, 12-4. Lose to the Steelers, lose to the Patriots. Like it's just the same recurring nightmare for Mike Tomlin and the Steelers.
Yep. I'm a big fan of Juju. I expect him to get even better from last year. He already has a big fan base from different things he does on social media. So he'll have a lot of support and be a very good number 2 wide receiver. When the defense is focusing on Brown, Juju and Washington will be there, and they'll be big.
Yeah, I think that Juju and James Washington will both step up this year and have a little bit of a bigger role in the offense. I mean, they're going to want to try both of those guys out because once Le'Veon leaves, they'll definitely have a bigger role in the offense. And then the tight end position, just some other pieces on the offense. I still think that's not going to be anything special with Jesse James and Vance McDonald.
Keith Miller was the greatest player. Like he was the most consistent tight end for the Steelers, and since he's been gone, they just have not had any production at tight end. Keith Miller was so freaking consistent and productive for the Steelers.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on, and I want to hear your guys' record predictions their place in the division and whether. Well, I think we all have them in the playoffs. How far do you think they go in the playoffs?
So looking at their schedule, and 3 of their final 5 games are against future Hall of Fame quarterbacks in Rivers, Brady, and Breeze. And Pittsburgh is slated to play in 8 nationally televised games. That means half of their season is in prime time. So when I said they were boring, I definitely meant the off season because 8 of their 16 games. Stop giving that weird look, Dan. 8 half of
all
16.
At night?
Nationally televised is usually prime time. Like, what do you mean?
The game of the week on is that true? The game. No,
Look
the
at
game
the schedule.
The game of the week on Fox is always nationally.
We're going to argue about this.
The game of the week on Fox is nationally. I thought.
No, I mean that's the NFC. That's the NFC game of the week.
8 games.
The AFC also has a game of the week, and that's not counting.
That's true.
That's not counting the primetime games. That's just the best of the afternoon games.
They have week 3, 8-15, week 4, 8-20, week 10, 8-20, week 11, 8-20, week 14, 8-20, and they have 2 games that are flexed to be primetime games, along with 2 game of the weeks, that aren't at night. But
that's insane.
Yeah. So they have half of their season in prime time, or at least nationally televised. They're going to be fun to watch. This is going to be the last year I think we see these 3 Bs and Chris Boswell, so 4 Bs. And I think they go 11-5, first in the division, and definitely the playoffs. And Dan, did you say the Steelers were not going to make the playoffs? You looked at us like we were
said
crazy.
That?
Did you get the same impression too, Don?
Yeah.
When he said we have all in the playoffs, you looked at us like we were
No, I don't
crazy.
know how far they're going to go.
Okay, now go, because I was really confused when you looked
Wait,
at
Jason, how far do you think they'll go?
I'd lose to the Jags or the Patriots. I think it's Jags, Patriots, and the AFC Championship, so whichever one they have to play.
Yeah, I have them at 12-4. They get a lot of their tough games at home, so that's kind of huge. Obviously, they're first in the division, make the playoffs. I'm not totally sure how far they go. I'd probably say lose to the Patriots at some point in the playoffs.
You think that's the only team that can beat them, though? They can beat the Jags, they can beat the Texans.
I think they can, yeah, definitely.
I'm buying the Steelers this year. I have them at 12-4, and I do think they come out of the AFC. The Patriots are down a little bit, and I'm still not completely buying the Jaguars. Not completely, as I know Jason.
Yeah, we know you're a hater. Don't worry, we don't need to hear the hate.
I'm not completely buying them.
Nope, Dylan, you can't join the bandwagon now. Nope,
I
can't.
remember that,
dude.
You were all over.
Last year was insane. I can promise you this: if you're listening right now, tune into the AFC South podcast. It's going to get heated. It is Dylan's hating on the Jags, and some people say I hate on the Colts. So it gets real intense when we talk about the AFC.
No,
South.
Jason's
and you
a
hate
realist
on the
on the Colts.
If you're not going to call me, if you're not a hater on the Jags, I'm not a hater on the Colts.
No, I'm not. I'm buying the Jags. Not completely.
Remember last year? Me too.
Yeah, last year.
This man said that he did not think they were going to win more than 5 or 6 games, and they just looked good on paper, but it never works out.
Dude,
remember that? Dan's with me. He remembers that. And the Colts were going to be an average defense. That was the big one. That was the one that sent shockwaves
their
through our
5 best
group.
players got hurt, but that's okay.
Yeah, they would have been average then.
I mean, if you have your 5 best players, that would have helped.
They didn't all get hurt week 1. It's not like they were like, oh, darn, they're all out. There's no way they're going to be good. But that's interesting. I'm going to the Super Bowl. I just do not see the Steelers in the Super Bowl.
I think there's definitely.
But see,
I see the motivation
as
the biggest
That's the problem.
That's
every year. It's Steelers are going to the Super Bowl. Oh wait, they can't because they don't get anything done.
I'm
more high on the Jags. The Jags had one hell of a draft class. They got some steals along with not losing many people besides Aaron Colvin, who is the slot corner. So you look at their defense getting reloaded with Taven Bryan, Ronnie Harrison, and they got DJ Chark. Whew. That's why I just feel like you look at the Jags, and I think they're definitely better than the Steelers, and I cannot wait for the Jags-Patriots AFC Championship.
Yeah, I'm buying the Steelers mostly because of the motivation factor. Obviously, they're not going to be happy that they...
2018 is the best year to come for Le'Veon. You said it 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah, I mean, the
out.
Jags last year, the loss, I don't think they're very happy about that.
Don't overlook them next
Plus,
year.
this could be the last year for Ben and Le'Veon, so...
And Antonio is 30. He'll be 31 at the start of next year. That's old for
and
receivers.
they'll definitely want to do it for their teammate Ryan Shazier. So.
Should have done it last year. I mean, he was hurt last year. I'm saying, it was. I don't know. I just feel like if you're gonna last year was the year to do it. The Jags had never been in the playoffs. Last year, I think very much so was their year to do it because Jags were inexperienced. The Patriots had glaring weaknesses. Yes, they had talent, but they had glaring weaknesses. For me, the Steelers, their year was last year when they couldn't do it last year, and they overlooked the Jags. what happens when the Jags can really come in and beat you. Like, then you're going to have to play better than you thought you would have to. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
All right, well, that is going to do it for our Steelers episode. Again, if you want to check out the rest of our NFL team previews, and if you want to see the future ones, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at The Sports Sermon, and make sure to comment how far you think the Steelers will go this season. But that is going to do it for The Sports Sermon today, and we will see you very soon with some more team previews.